Okay, you use a standard controller, right? If you use a standard controller and you're shooting a gun, right, and you're pulling down like this, right? You're pulling down, letting go, pulling down, letting go, pulling down, letting go, and that's just part of having a standard controller, right? Now with the TMRs or even Hall effects, it's pretty easy, you know, just a nice little thing going over, trying to control it like that, right? Obviously, I can do it at 0, but here's the thing: if you're on a standard controller, right, this is going to pull down. It's going to pull down. I don't care who you are, right? It will pull down. You may be able to lift up, pull down, lift up, pull down, lift up, pull down, lift up, pull down, lift up, pull down. And I'm barely touching the stick, barely touching the stick. So Vats, when you said you were barely touching the stick, bro, the other day, I mean, I was like, I don't know about that, you know, like, that's barely touching the stick, right? But even if, let's just go ahead and jack this up to 20, right? Jack this up to 20, right? Come on now. Come on now. I mean, did we all just witness that, right? Like, you know, but even if I just put a little bit more pressure, we're just going down, and it's barely any, like, it's the tiniest little bit. Now, if you're at 20, yes, I completely understand. On a standard controller, it's very different. It's not magnetic or anything like that, right? Okay, let's go back to 0, right? Now, and this is just the dead zone trick, right? This is entirely just a dead zone trick that I've never seen anybody talk about. My uncle used to do this back when I was little, and I'm talking about like old COD games, like them old ass COD games, right? Back when you actually had like use a Game Shark and input converter to play with like a controller and stuff, like a Sega controller. Like he was like that, like for sure. He was like total hacker status. Okay, so let's just say you got your recoil control down, right? Recoil control down. See, it's like barely pulling down, right? Now with me personally, I just bump it up 1, and you'll see that it's not going to give you latency, right? It's an input registration, right? It has nothing to do with internet or anything like that, right? You can see that it actually it dampens. It gives you a dampening on the input, right? It gives you like a 50% pull, right? Now if you actually watch like a dead zone like guide or anything like that, it'll fully explain it. Or if you go into a dead zone calibration or anything like that, you'll see that there's a percentage based off of how you're pulling and how much input you're barely putting in and everything like that, to actually give you like a slow motion. I can make it look like I'm stick drifting by just putting my finger on it, right? Now this is the best way to abuse aim assist, right? The absolute best way to abuse aim assist, right? Especially rotational aim assist. Now I'm on PC, so we really don't get rotational aim assist. We do get that standard rotational aim assist. We don't get that console rotational aim assist, which I think is kind of bull, but hey, we get 20% less aim assist, but who cares, right? So with that being said, we bumped it up 1, right? Just to make sure, we bumped it up 1. Okay, there we go. We bumped it up 1, and you notice when I was on 0, we were pulling down a little bit, right? And I was barely touching the stick, See, we're still pulling down a little bit. Barely pulling down, just barely pulling down. Boom. Boom, shakalaka. You see that? You see that right there? You see that right there? Do you see that right there? Boom, fucking shakalaka. I just gave myself fucking Cronus. You see that? See that? I gave myself fucking anti-recoil on Cronus. But now we gotta talk about Fred over here. And we don't like Fred, right? Fuck Fred. Right? We like Bob though. Bob's cool. Bob's cool. We give Bob the drip. Look at that. We give Bob the drip. We give him that red helmet and that red vest, right? Because Bob's cool, right? We kind of like Frank, but we keep Frank at a distance, right? We got to keep Frank at a distance. Then here's Larry and Gary, you know, these fucking assholes. Okay. But we want to talk about aiming, right? And not just shooting, just aiming. Like where does it activate? Where does aim assist activate and everything like that? Now this doesn't have anything really to do with like recoil control other than the bubble inside of, let's say, Fred's body here. Outside of here, no aim assist, right? Aim assist inside of here. Outside of here, no aim assist. Aim assist inside of here. So the amount of force I have to push down right over here is not the same that I have to do on Fred, right? Because Fred, the aim slows down. The input right here is completely different than the input over here, right? Like this little tiny hole on the screen, right? Boom, shakalaka. But when we go shoot a Fred, it looks pretty good, right? It looks pretty good. Well, let's go ahead and put this back to 20, right? And you guys saw me do a 0 recoil on 20, right? Let's do it again so I make sure that I'm not a liar, right? Well, zero recoil, right? It kicked up just a tiny little bit. Now, if we use that same force and we try to shoot Fred, and we're gonna shoot, let me put gray ammo in real quick so that way we're not just like blasting Fred up or anything like that. So on controller, this area right here is way different than this area over here or this area over here, right? So I mean, you can aim at the cones, go aim at the sign, the cones, back forth the screen, cone, this little box. You can trace over all the stuff that you want, but until you get the control in this area, it don't make no sense. It don't make sense at all, right? So like, and I had to pull down a lot harder, but if I do that same effort over here, I pull down, right? I pull down on it instead of going zero recoil on Fred, right? Zero recoil on Fred. Pulling down over here. You see that little recoil right there? But if I go over here, zero recoil. You see how it kicked up? Okay. Now that we understand how recoil control affects the aim assist area, right? The aim assist area, not this area, the aim assist area, outside of, let's just use this A as an example, right? Now you could trace this little line and everything like that, right? All you want, right? Just to get your accuracy pretty good, you know? Do this little circle. I'm not doing a very good job of it or anything like that. But actually going and tracing around a dummy is entirely different. Now the aim definitely slows down. Definitely slows down. Now, is this impossible? No, I'm a dad. I'm a disabled dad, a disabled blue-collar dad, and I'm doing this, right? So you could for sure do this. I don't care what anybody says, right? See how that's a lot more accurate? It's because of the slowdown, right? It's totally the slowdown. Now, this isn't an aiming deep dive. This is a recoil deep dive. Now, when you shoot your bullets, obviously there's a recoil pattern. There's totally a recoil pattern, right? Now, that doesn't mean we can't trace stuff outside of the aim assist circle, right? We totally can, right? That's the whole point, because you gotta like, oh my gosh, we're getting shot in the back. Oh my gosh, jump around, bam, like that, right? And at Delta Force, you don't have to be the most accurate. You don't. You just like, oh my gosh, bam, you know, and just shoot the guys, kind of like spray and pray. Like, oh my gosh, Fred's behind me. That's kind of the whole thing, right? Now, what's important, and what's probably the most important thing, is to control your recoil while shooting. And I will say this again: control your recoil while you're shooting. Not just like this. Not like that. Not like that. Take this line right here. Take this line right here. All right? We're on 20. Now let's try 0. Okay, ready? I was pulling down a lot less, but my input was a lot less, right? Here we go. Ready? Just randomly. Seemed like I pulled down a lot more, and it may seem random at first. Obviously, we're going to go with this line right here and follow that line right there, right? Now, following the same trick that we used, bump it up one. Start from here. You're welcome. And a quick shout out to W Energy, who is an official channel sponsor. So don't forget to stay locked in, stay sharp, and dominate your day. And use code SOMEDADGAMING to get 10% off your order today. Again, to the other side. You're welcome. I just gave you guys Cronus for free. For free! Also, waffle fries. For free! Now again, it's M4A1, there's recoil attachments, etc. and so forth and all that. Yes, that does help. But to be fair, and we're going to go ahead and do this without any attachments, all right? Just to kind of prove the point, right? Prove the point, right? No attachments, right? M4A1, no attachments. Here we go. And we're going to start off on 0. Here we go. Sorry, I'm not reading any of your comments or anything. I'm trying to talk here because it's going to be a video. Okay. Here we go. Ready? That's kind of an ugly, very ugly recoil, right? But obviously it has a lot to do with the gun. Everybody that knows Delta Force knows that the attachments have a lot to do with the way the gun fires, right? We all know this, okay? See that ugliness? You see that ugliness? See the ugliness? Okay, let's bump it up to our 20, which is completely ridiculous. Ready? Uglier, but more bunched up. Uglier, but more bunched up, right? Let's split the diff on here. Let's go 10, which is about standard, right? Very ugly. Very, very ugly. But if all we do is just go back, oops, go back down, bump it up one. A lot more bunched up. A lot more bunched up. We're not moving all over the place, right? Not moving all over the place. Bump it up one more. You see, it still moves with that horizontal recoil, but it's definitely a lot more bunched up. A lot more bunched up. Now, this purely has to do with muscle memory. Muscle memory. It can't always be the same. It's never going to be the same. As your controller sticks go out, especially on center six, they're going to give. So if you feel like your aim is off and everything like that, probably it's a standard controller. And if you don't have anti-calibration software or Hall effect sticks or TMRs or anything like that where you're not going to drift, then yeah, absolutely 110% it's going to feel off the next day you get to gaming, especially when you put some wear and tear on the thing, right? All right, let's try it again. Oh, let's try from right here, this line. All right. A lot more bunched up. Let's try from back here. A lot more bunched up, right? All right, bump it up one more. Guarantee it's going to be 5. I mean, ready? Okay, so we stayed in this general area. It looks like 4 is actually better. Now, if I barely touch the stick, I still move. Still moving. Not as far, but I'm still moving, right? Look at that. Look at it. Look at it. Look at it. And it's just a standard M4A1, nothing special or anything like that. I'm just pulling down the way I'd pull down as if it was fully kitted, right? Now, if we go to 0 and we put that same pressure, it moves a little faster. But if we go to 20 and put that same pressure, slow. Very, very slow. Very, very slow. Oh my gosh, look how slow that is. I don't even know if you guys can see that. I'm trying to like pull it down back a little bit, trying to. So that's like barely anything. It's still moving. Flick, 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 flick. Now, over here, we're gonna try to follow this line, the same exact line, right? We'll start at 0. We will start at 0. Now again, you don't have to do this. You can trust every fucking streamer you've ever fucking watched and all that other shit. Go right ahead. Great. Great, absolutely. You are him. 110%. Good for you. I am not. So I have to resort to tricks like this. So, and I can't afford a Cronus because I'm poor. So, yeah. So here we go. Here we go. Gonna follow a line. I went up that time, right? Because there's no attachments. No attachments on the gun, right? Take it up to 20. Put up to that old 20. That 20 mark. Reload. Reload. Let's see how we do now. Oh my gosh, it's the same thing. Duh. No attachments. Okay. Bump it up one. Bump it up one. Bump it up one more. Oh, kind of flipped over a little harder on that one than I thought. Bump it up one more. Bump it up one more. You're welcome. You're fucking welcome. What do you think, Fred? Fred won't go down. Stupid Fred. Now, obviously, with no attachment and everything, we're not going to be able to hit Frank. Well, we might. There we go. Okay, we got Fred. Or Frank. We got Frank. What do you think, Frank? All spray and pray. Spray and pray. Now, if this was Call of Duty or Battlefield, etc. and so forth, you would be able to get away with iron sights and less attachments and all that other stuff based off of how metas work. But in a game like Delta Force, or if anybody's who ever played Tarkov or Arena Breakout for that matter, especially games like Arena Breakout, to where like it doesn't matter what you try to control with your controller or mouse or whatever. I think it's a PC mouse keyboard only game, but that it's attachment based. 110% it's attachment based. But in order until you get that nice and smooth stuff, Oh my gosh, look at him. Look at him. Caressing Frank. Oh my gosh. Now, is it impossible or anything like that? Is it better on mouse and keyboard, etc. and so forth? Yeah, probably is. I don't know. I'm not here to talk about it. I'm not here saying that this is better than this or better than that. I'm not here to say anything about who is and isn't good or bad at this. If you want to go ahead and jack your sensitivities all the way up, right? Like every other streamer ever freaking says, turn up your sensitivities all the way up and then put everything at 0. Put everything, we're putting everything at 0. Everything's at 0 except for the verticals, whatever. Turn it all the way down, just jack everything up, right? And then put your thing at that. And you want, and this is what you want, and this is what you want. This is what you want. And then you're wondering why you're aiming like that. Oh, well, at least we got him. Yeah, we got him on a blind rage. And if you want to go there and train your muscles to do that, then go right ahead. Go right ahead. If you think you can nail Frank all the way down there, if you think you can nail Frank all the way down there, be my guest. Be my guest. Don't listen to me. I don't care. Like it doesn't even matter. It doesn't even matter. But if you're tired of settings that don't work for you or anything like that, then watch my settings guide. Link will be down in the description.